What is up, guys? Welcome back to Scene Invaders Podcast, episode 406. I am Chad, and tonight we have Carly back with us, Intel Dork from Twitter. What is up, Carly?
Hey, guys. Glad to be here.
We're so excited to have you back. We were sad that you weren't here with us last week, but
I was too.
Mom's got a mom. Yeah, I get it, man. Well, I don't really get it. I'm not a mom, but I'm a dad to two cute little furry dogs, so that's my children, guys. And Mr. Brad from Canada, what is up, sir?
How's it going, eh? I am also a single mom.
Oh, yes.
So, yes, I have been raising my daughter for a long time as both mom and dad, so I win.
You're the most beautiful single mom in Canada, Brad.
I really am, and that's a damn shame. That's a damn shame, because I go to single mom bars all the time.
Okay.
Wait, they have those?
Okay.
They have everything in Canada, except good movies that are playing around me. That's all.
Okay, right there. Yeah, everything but that.
So when I can't go to that, I go to the single mom bars.
And Mr. Coach, how are you, sir?
Hello. I have to do a special shout out this week to my niece, Megan, who is watching but not supposed to be watching, but is watching because she might be able to watch, but really shouldn't be watching, but will end up watching anyway.
Okay, I'm going to try to remain somewhat well-behaved if I can.
Shout out to Megan.
And I was told that her generation doesn't do podcasts, but since we put it on YouTube, she might tune in.
She might. If
she might be cool enough.
Too cool. Yeah, exactly. We might be cool enough.
Well, there's two uncles. I'm not the cool uncle, but hopefully,
this will make you the cool uncle, dude.
That's right.
Up a little bit.
You're my cool uncle, Mr. Coach.
Damn right.
Always.
And I'm your cool single mom.
Yeah, you're the cool single mom. And then Carly's the cool based, like, hot mom.
Everything.
Yeah.
Got all over all of us. Let's not even lie. Come on.
All right. We're going to talk to you, of course, about what we watched this past week. And then later on in the show, we're going to discuss. Brad brought up a topic that we are going to discuss our favorite franchises, movie franchises, whatever that might be. It seems like from what I'm hearing, everyone cheated and has more than one to discuss. But that's what we're going to hit after we discuss what we watched this week. And we're going to start that off with Mr. Brad from Canada, the hottest single mom in Canada.
I see the t-shirts getting made already.
Oh my God, I pre-ordered.
Yeah, first of all, I want to apologize for my audio. My microphone doesn't seem to be working, so here I am in a tunnel. But thank you all for still listening. I didn't get to the theater because nothing was playing that I wanted to see, and the stuff that I wanted to see was 50 miles away from me. So I did what I always do. I devolved into television, which is not a devolvement now because there's a lot of television much better than the movies. And I was able to actually sit down and watch a documentary. Now, this is, call me. Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
That's my daughter. Just ran past to get snacks.
We got a wave. Hell yeah. Interactive, yo.
She's interactive, yeah. I sat down and watched the 4-part documentary on the Tragically Hip. Now, this is quite the Canadian-centric band, but it has actually moved its way to the States somewhat. But these are, Doritos. Those are my Doritos. All right.
There are Doritos, Brad.
So they were my Doritos. Okay.
Our Doritos, yeah.
So make sure you leave me the bag. I need that. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. That little fucker's gonna eat every goddamn one I know.
Okay, right. Yeah. Sorry, just hot single mom shit. No big deal.
Yeah, that's it. Doritos are $5 a bag here. No. So about a band out of Kingston that was just your mediocre band that just did bars and just kind of a slow rise to start off as a Canadian fandom and then international fandom. Honestly, everyone knows the Tragically Hip song, even if you don't know, you know it. Yeah, everyone like
You just don't know you know it.
You don't know you know it. Yeah,
It's kind of like Crowded House. Like
Crowded House, Courage, Road Apples,
Yeah.
Boots Your Hearts. There's so many songs that will just earworm. But unfortunately, the lead singer, who has one of the most Canadian names in the world, Gord Downey, passed away of brain cancer.
Oh, boo.
You can still laugh. That's okay. Because he actually did his last concert. Oh my God. Oof. I was still married at the time. So a few years ago, when he was pretty much at the highest of his suffrage of the brain cancer, and he was making jokes about it. So I mean that's what we do here. It was pretty interesting, and it is part and parcel 4 hours long.
Okay.
But they break it up into hour segments, so you almost feel like, okay, I could take a break.
Okay.
I learned a whole lot about them, but there was nothing ever salacious or anything controversial. These are guys that played music, donated most of it, lived well, still went to their favorite bars, still went shopping at the mall, signed autographs. Nobody bothered them, but the people that did bother them, they bothered them in the, hey, do you mind? May I? Kind of thing, because they stayed here. They stayed in Kingston, which is about 3 hours away from me.
Oh, okay, sweet.
And I think they just did it right.
Okay.
And they are one of, beyond Neil Young, one of the only Canadian-based bands to play on Saturday Night Live.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Which
Very
can be an accolade that no one really
of
knew
course.
about until you sit down and do the history. But yeah,
What's interesting is I know the name more than, and I'm like you said, I probably
Right.
do know their music. I know the name more than I know like a Tragically Hip song.
yeah, exactly. Like I said, you know the song without knowing the song.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So is this streaming like on a like Hulu or
Amazon
something
Prime.
like that? Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Amazon Prime, which kind of like flipped me out because I thought, wait a minute, on Prime, it's not on like Canada HBO, Crave, or anything like that.
Yeah. Is it a Prime original thing?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah. So
Is
Mr.
Prime is the
Bezos liking
content
it?
is the content between like US and Canadian Prime the same?
I can't answer
I'm
that.
not sure
Yeah,
because
that's a
I have
good
Prime
I know
too.
Netflix is different.
Okay. Then it probably is, at least to an extent.
Yeah.
But I know if you have VPNs like connected to whatever you're watching on, you can access any region's
Mhm.
streaming service availability. Or
I'm
like
pretty sure
whatever their
that's illegal,
selection is.
sir.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it
Oh,
probably
I was like-
is, but
Well, I hear you like YouTubers that are constantly trying to like hawk a VPN service. Like that's the one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
they go to. They're like, if you do that, then you can watch India's Netflix and all this
Oh, I'm
stuff.
sure
And
it's
like,
not
Oh,
legal.
I've watched the States Netflix a lot. I'm not worried about it.
okay, right there it is. So I assume this is a recommend for you, right, sir?
It is.
Okay.
I've seen them play in concert. They're a lot of fun. If you look up any song, look up the Killer Whale Tank.
Okay.
It is ridiculous, awesome, but pretty great.
Okay. Killer Whale
That I
Tank.
don't. Yeah, after that, I don't really have any more recommendations other than a way to consume media that I learned from a friend. I have a friend. His name is Shane Kelly. He does the Comic Geek Speak podcast out in Reading, Pennsylvania, and they are
I
perhaps
used to work there. They used to work in Reading. It's not
Oh,
far
wow.
from me,
I
Brad.
was about to say you're in
Really?
Pennsylvania.
Really, I used
Right.
to work at a factory out in Reading,
Oh,
an
very
hour away
cool.
from me.
Well,
It's a small world, guys.
These guys have the designation of being perhaps one of the very first podcasts ever.
Oh my god.
They are still kicking.
Good.
And it's just about comics. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary.
Holy
Oh, wow.
shit.
So they have been legit podcasting for 20 freaking years.
That's
That is
awesome.
And I've been listening, honestly, for about 16.
dang. How did you listen to podcast like that? Because I mean, were even podcast platforms available 20 years
No,
ago?
you didn't get it on
It'd be
your
like
phone.
a website or like
You would go to a website, you would
Yeah.
download it to your MP3 player,
dang.
and then you would take your MP3 player to work.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Your iPod would have a spinning dial.
I had
Yeah.
an iPod,
Yeah,
but I was not
right,
using it. I
I
still
missed
have an
that,
iPod.
too,
highlight,
by
the
the
little
way. Yeah, I
highlight
have
thing
one of
that would
those
roll
too.
up and down. And then they said, try a nano. And then like,
Yeah.
no.
Mm-mm.
And then there was a Zune that nobody used.
Okay, right,
I had
exactly.
one. I had one.
Oh, did you?
Oh.
Wonderful.
Well, they tried to make
Barely used
Zune
it.
cool because you could like
It was
share,
not
like
cool.
you could share a song with a friend and they could listen to it a couple times or something like that without having to buy it. Which that's a nice feature for sure. But hell, we have smartphones.
It was
not
never
enough time
cool
for that.
though. It was
Okay,
Zune.
right. Not when you're up against iPod, man.
No.
I lived for my iPod back in the day, and I still have one. I don't use it, but I keep it like charged and all that kind of stuff. It's in very good shape, so just in case. But
Yeah.
I just stream everything. So
Well, he was going on to me about I listen to audiobooks at work, I listen to podcasts, I listen to music. Music is kind of reserved for the car
okay.
Or
because
working out.
I don't understand.
Working out.
Oh yeah, no, I
Sorry.
work that one.
Sorry.
What?
Yeah,
Or working out. That's about it.
I'm a single mom. I'm not having time to work out.
Well, when
This
I
is a
say
movie
work out, I
podcast.
just
No, I'm just
mean
kidding.
walking. Sorry.
I walked somewhere once. Yeah,
And I know
There you
you've
go.
been to the gym before because we had your story time over that movie Shame.
yeah, and I can't go back.
Okay, now you can't
Yeah,
go
that
back.
was his one time at the gym. He was watching Shane the treadmill.
It was removed.
Or no, it was the Chuck Panala.
Choke. I was watching
Oh,
Choke.
choke. Yeah.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love Chuck Palahniuk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
It's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
well, every time one of the instructors walked by, it was during one of the sex scenes. And I'm there on the elliptical rolling around, banging, and I'm watching bang.
Literally.
And someone
And
says,
not even
"Dude,"
thinking about it, probably. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
just
no,
hanging out, like-
I'm engrossed in this movie. And one of
Megan,
the
how
guys
you
says,
doing? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Stop,
tuning in.
guys.
and tapped me on the shoulder and says, "Dude, you can't watch porn at the gym." I'm like, "No, it's not
It's not
porn.
porn.
Jerk off."
Choke.
I think it's a movie called Choke. That's not better. I'll
Not better.
just leave.
Not
Some
that
people-
kind of choke, okay?
Yeah.
Not the good kind.
Right?
Anyway, back to wholesome podcast
Yes.
listening, 20 years and all the
Very
rest. They're
wholesome
respectables
podcast.
and such. Yes.
What member?
Sorry,
of the
Shane. You see where
family-
podcast really goes? Yeah. I'm not talking about comic books. Well, he was saying that he is in the same boat. You know, you get your 5 or 6 podcasts you listen to or an audio book and you're either into it or not. So he started listening to movies.
Oh,
Movies that he's seen already.
okay.
You know, everyone's got a couple movies on their phone or TV
yeah.
series on their phone. He says, I just listened to them. And I'm like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I didn't have any movies, but I threw on The Bear, season 1.
Okay.
Now I'm listening to all of the chaos. And because I've seen it a few times, I have a general idea of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have perfect recall memory. So as you're listening, you kind of change it in your head
Sure.
and you can kind of make it whatever you want. But one of the best things is I never realized how many lines I missed,
Oh, I'm sure.
how many little quips
When you're-
and short little things that I'm just in ample conversation back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know the screen's fun to watch and you got beautiful people on it and action or whatever. But so I started going back and I re-listened to I'm going to call it re-listen to Ted Lasso. I've watched it a million times. I've picked up probably about 30-40% of new content just by listening alone.
Sure.
So
You're
I
cutting out the
wonder-
whole other sense. So I think
it
makes
is
a lot of sense.
it's pretty fascinating, honestly, because it also makes me want to go rewatch it again because
Sure.
now I'm watching it with a clear head of what they said.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not a recommendation of anything other than The Bear and Ted Lasso because they're awesome.
Yeah, of course.
But
It's like a
just
content boost, man. Like
it really
booster
is.
watching. I like
It's
it.
like watching something with subtitles. Oh, that's what they really said. Yeah.
I listen to a lot
that's
of YouTube videos in the car and stuff, so I don't
Mhm.
watch them, but I listen to them.
sure you do.
And I used to drive like a ton. So occasionally I would put on a movie and I would have it like up on my dash or whatever while I'm not watching a movie while I drive, but it was there if I wanted to glance at it. But movies that I'd seen a bunch of times and shit when I just got tired of a podcast or something like
Yeah,
that, put on
exactly.
like a comfort watch. So yeah, I can definitely
100%.
relate to that. But I had so many other things going on and never got to concentrate on it enough to catch like things that I had missed in that way. But that makes a lot of sense, man. Good recommendation.
I wonder
Thank
if
you.
you can do like commentaries. Like, do they just have commentaries on YouTube or on any of those things?
That's pretty fascinating.
I think some YouTubers do like movie commentaries. I think a lot of them put them behind like a
like the ones on the DVDs, like infamously, like on Citizen Kane, Roger Ebert did a commentary for it. On Armageddon, you get the awesome Ben Affleck Fire in Space with what's his name, Blondie director guy,
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Yeah,
I prefer to call him Blondie director. Boom.
Blondie director guy. Yeah, that works.
But I did like that for those of you that are listening, not watching, that when Dave does say Blondie director, he does a little flourish with his fingers.
Yeah.
Like he's feathering his hair.
It's real, guys.
And I completely understood who you're talking about. Oh, that guy.
He's like, oh yeah, Michael Bay.
Yep,
that's all it took. Was just a little bit of spirit fingers near the hair.
always break out the spirit fingers, man.
You really can't go wrong with them. Not my. Any other new recommendations for you this week?
Bring it on joke. Better spirit fingers than spirit stick.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
Too true. The only
anything else new for you, Mr. Brad?
A comic book came out today of one that I great importance from my childhood. They relaunched G.I. Joe, and I read it, and it's amazing. That's it.
I wanted to ask you something, Brad. It was something you brought up on a show a while back about a comic book, and I'll be damned if I remember what series it was about, but I basically asked if it was like comic book fan fiction. You said that was a good way to describe it.
It honestly could be the G.I. Joe.
Maybe it actually might have been.
Because it's an old property from the 80s that started out as a comic book that turned into a toy commercial that turned into a cartoon, which perpetuated the comic book, the toys, and everything. Yeah. And the current writer is probably, I'd say he's our age.
Okay.
Or my age at least. So you are steeped in that kind of nostalgia. So you always find the greatest content are from people your age.
Yeah.
Because they are
the most relatable, yeah.
They are in the industry of building what they want to see. And because of the influence of our ages and stuff like that, we kind of want to see what they want to see too. So yeah, they kind of like blank out all the chuffa and just, okay, let's tell the story that we really want to hear, and you're on board with it.
Well, it's just a struggle for me because there's just hardly any 22-year-old writers or filmmakers or anything for me to relate to, guys. So I'm just really struggling out here in these streets.
For real, it's a total struggle.
Yeah.
I would not want to be 22 again, for the record.
No.
I'm good on all that. I mean,
30 maybe. Not
yeah,
22.
maybe. I think 30 sounds pretty good, man. That's a pretty good one. But good recommendations, Mr. Brad. We always love hearing from you, man. And I really love the listening to movies thing. That is good. And
it's different. I can't explain it. Just try it.
I get to use headphones a fair bit at work, so yeah.
Give her a dance.
I might be trying that. All right, next we're going to move on to Carly, who said she's been catching up on some things. So, it's the pressure's on, Carly. The pressure is on. No, not really. The pressure's never on Student Bitter Podcast.
I know, but I always feel the pressure, though.
Of course.
That's what type of person I am. But yes, I have been catching up on a lot of movies, which actually are going to go into my franchise pick. So I'm not going to talk about those right now. But other than that, I have watched My Old Ass, which stars Maisie Stella and Aubrey Plaza. And it's just a story involving an 18-year-old that goes on a mushroom trip, and she basically brings the main character face to face with her 39-year-old self. I really like how they hammered home the importance of making time for and spending time with those that you love while you have the chance. I thought that was a really good message in the movie. I had zero issues with the character being queer. However, I do feel that the movie could have improved if they just would have left out a little bit of the identity politics. That's the only part that I had an issue with, and it was a very small issue. So I really, growing up is already hard enough as it is. We really don't need a bunch of labels to deal with or to try to put ourselves into any sort of specific boxes. So that's really the only critique that I had in regards to the movie, but I definitely think it was still worth streaming. Absolutely. I really liked it.
What did you think of the location and honestly, landscape?
With this,
oh, I loved it because I actually live near. I want to say that. Oh God, what is that series that was? It's the drug series that has Jason Bateman in it. What is that called?
Ozark.
Yeah, the Ozarks. That was actually filmed near where I live. So like Lake Lanier and stuff like that. I think that they had some filming there. So it kind of made me think of where I currently live, but I really liked where it was filmed.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Coach was like, I'm moving there. That's beautiful.
I just want to, I want to be able to go place to place by a single
right.
boat.
That was awesome. Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, it kind of reminded me of where I currently live, but obviously I know that I think it was supposed to be based like in the Ozarks, I think.
It was like Canada.
Near Canada. Yeah, it was because she was talking about going to Canada for college.
Yeah, it was the Muskokas.
Yeah, I really liked it though.
Yeah, and I felt like I never quite knew where this movie was going. I mean, you're set up from the beginning knowing something is wrong and what's happening, and I never quite really knew where it was headed. And I thought it was a gut punch, man. Like it made me emotional. And not even just
totally cried at the end.
Oh, I was a disaster. And then I was like, I hate my life.
I think Chad and I were trading voicemails and texts. And I'm like, I am so sorry I had to watch this.
I planned to see it anyways.
And you're like, it devastated me. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I was like, I don't have anyone left to spend my time on or give my love to.
So you just got to give it time, Chad.
That's
it. Got to give it time.
A little bit of time.
Give it time.
But it's such a highly recommended for me anyway. It's a lovely movie and it's funny too, I thought.
Oh yes. But that's really it for me.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. Everything else I've been.
Coming.
I know. Yeah, I got to save it for that.
Man. So Dave and I,
other than Penguin, I'm sorry. I was just going to say I watched the season finale.
I want to hear your thoughts about that because I'm not current. I think I'm 2 behind, but we talked about it a little earlier as far as this is deep, true mob story.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, I loved the whole series. I loved the last episode. I really like how they ended it. I don't want to, obviously any spoilers, but I
Superman
really like.
No.
Damn. No, Superman thankfully is not in it at all. But I really enjoyed the ending.
Wonder Woman, The Flash.
Robert Downey Jr. is the new Batman.
Rainbow Rider.
He's way too old for that. No, thankfully I didn't. No, thankfully that wasn't in there. So, but no, it definitely. I did. He liked it too. Okay. It kind of. I mean, you guys will see it when you watch it, that last episode, but I was not surprised with what happened with one of the characters. I'll just say that, but I don't want to, spoil anything.
There are probably people who haven't seen it yet. So
yeah,
including Mr. Brad.
I don't think I've laughed so hard at it was a tragic
He's so adorable. God.
It was a tragic scene in which where one of the named Sal and Penguin are fighting, and Sal, unfortunately, something happens to him, and I don't know. It struck me so funny because we'll just say tragedy hits, and Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, looks at him as he's in this tragedy. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We're fighting." And it struck me so damn funny because he was like, "No, I thought we were supposed to fight. No, and you're not doing it right." I think that's kind of what just rolled with me, and I think that I watched the flashback episode when the Penguin was young with his brothers, which is pretty tragic, and it's these are despicable people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a redeeming quality, but you root for them.
I love movies that make me do that, or shows or anything.
That to me is the mark of great content. Like there's been movies. What is that Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Yep. God, that movie was so fucked up.
It was very fucked up.
It's great.
Speaking of a movie in which where the character is a despicable person, I wanted him to die.
Oh, in Uncut Gems? Okay.
Yeah. I'm like,
he was like, fuck you, man.
Like, fuck this fucking guy. Like, and this is my throughway. This is the guy I'm supposed to be glomming onto. This is my this is a douchebag that I hope he dies. And well, spoiler alert, I'm glad he did.
Yeah,
but
that was very shocking though. It's like
it was, but it was entertaining at least. But the Penguin is a despicable person, but I root for him. And I never rooted for Penguin, and that's why I think it's truly, truly great writing, great content, and oh my god. Between this and Sugar and whatever Colin Farrell does next, everyone just don't show up for the Emmys because they're all his.
Oh, Colin Farrell is amazing. I mean, he's been awesome, but so
you didn't
even you're not rooting for Sophia at all?
Absolutely rooting for Sophia.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
Oh yeah. No, and she's awful too, but like
I mean, listen, I understand where she's coming from though.
So do I.
She has a reason.
She absolutely does. But normally you see shitty people going through shitty things, and you're like, haha. This you're not. You're like seeing shitty people going through shitty things, and you're like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. I have a question for the panel because I'm going to be the most in the dark on all of this. Is this version of the Penguin going to tie into Matt Reeves, the Batman?
Yes.
It is directly.
Okay.
He comes from
the first, yes.
Yeah. Watch the movie. It's like 3 hours long. So
and I will say that there is a definite tie-in as well. I mean, the whole thing ties in, but there's even more of a tie-in with another character from the Batman at the very end of the episode, the season finale.
We expect to see this character in a Matt Reeves, the Batman movie.
Well, yes, and he was.
Maybe? I mean, well, yeah, he was. Yeah, the Penguin was in.
So
I have not seen the Batman, guys.
They're going to do a second season.
It's okay.
They're going to do a second season, and there's talks that he will dabble in the second movie.
Oh, okay. Nice. I like it. Cool. I like that kind of content. Anything else, Miss Carly? Anything else you watched? All right. Oh, no, not other than the franchise. I know what your franchise is now, girl, but... So, it looks like Mr. Coach and I have crossover this week. We both saw the same 2 things. And one of them I recommended to both of these guys after I left, knowing again that they're not, especially Mr. Coach is not the most horror-centric guy, but I left that movie and I was like, I recommend Heretic to both of you guys because I felt it was a safe recommend. And I'm curious to hear if that was actually the case from Mr. Coach, but I feel...
Well, we did trade...
I feel 80% confident.
We did trade some back and forth on, our little WhatsApp thing.
Yeah, true.
I am looking for the analogy that I told you that it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I really liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie. It was enjoyable. I thought it was a very interesting take in terms of religion and multiple religions. However, I equated it to Chad of it being a steak sandwich between two slices of Wonder Bread.
I can feel that analogy. I feel that a little bit for sure.
Okay.
The middle is amazing. There is it's kind of made all social media now where he is equating religion to Jar Jar Binks and board games.
Lana Del Rey and
it is phenomenal. The basic story is there's these two Mormon missionaries who are calling on a house that has requested more information about the church.
Mm-hmm.
A guy traps them in a series of room-like puzzles and pontificates about religion in general.
Yeah.
And they need to escape said maze.
Yeah.
Hijinks ensue.
And I want to throw in really quick. This is written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, who I don't know that they've directed anything before, but they wrote the first A Quiet Place film, and then they wrote the Adam Driver dinosaur movie 65. But I'm pretty sure
I like that movie.
I have not seen that, but I did like A Quiet Place for sure. But I think this is their first time directing, and this is for A24, which we know I'm a hoe for. So I was going to be there regardless, even if everybody said this is the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm like, well, it's A24. I'm going to go see it anyway. I don't care.
I do my thing. Let me do my thing.
And I think I'm with Coach on this one. I thought this movie started so strong, and I think it gets even more interesting up until it reaches a certain point. I very, very much like this movie. But there is a choice that these girls have to make partway through where they have to choose to go through one of two doors. And after they...
Very labyrinth.
Are they literal doors?
Yeah, literal doors.
They go through literal doors.
Because they want to get out of this house, and he's telling them the way
Gotcha.
to get out of the house. So they have to choose a door. And after they choose
Am I
their
lying
door,
or telling the truth?
Okay, right. Yeah, kind of that a little bit too.
Okay.
But I thought it lost... I don't want to say it lost steam, but I just think it became just a little bit less interesting at that point. Because up until then, it was so like... It was just firing, like it was making me think and like making me think about all this shit, and it just was firing on all cylinders in every way. It was very suspenseful, and it does maintain some suspense definitely after they make this choice. But I just sort of think the way that it plays out from there just doesn't quite live up to what led us to that point. And that was the only real downside for me. But this, I think it's one of the stronger horror movies of the year for sure. Cool. And this is a horror clearly from Coach's perspective too, that like, this is horror for people who may not exactly just love horror. And I think it's tense. It's not scary, but it's tense.
I think the filmmakers thought that they had a bigger moment at the end.
Yes.
Than it turned out to be.
Agree.
You know, like I think there are people that be like, wow, this is the most amazing revelation.
No. But yeah, there are people who will think that, yes.
But
and you're wrong, it's not.
Hugh Grant is great. The two girls are great. It's weird. Topher Grace shows up for about 47 seconds.
I love Topher Grace.
He just has like almost like a cameo in this in a way.
Yeah. It's just like, hey guys, I'm Topher. Like, see you later.
He's got that 70s money.
Yeah, that's it. One thing I have to praise this on, though, I am not and have never really been a religious person. I have no problem with religion or people who are religious. And I think this movie handles this so well and so smart because it's dealing with a very hot button subject matter of religion just as a whole.
Yeah, in general.
And I think that whether you are religious or are not, you could go into this movie and come out still liking it. It's not shitting on anything. There are moments where it might seem that it's attempting to do that, but all it's doing is just poking the bear a little bit and just making you think. Kind of.
Yep.
And I think that, like I said, either way could come out of this thinking, yeah, this reaffirmed what I think, or this reaffirmed what I think, kind of either side that you're on. And I thought that was really smart and well done, especially in a horror film that, like, I think a lot of times nowadays probably would not try to straddle the line quite the way that this does. So I have a lot of respect for them keeping sort of a broader audience in mind with that. Not that it's like the most accessible movie in the world. I mean, it's a pretty accessible for an A24 film for sure, but it's still, it makes you think, man, and it's got your brain moving. And even when I left the theater, like my brain was going, I was like, how do I feel about this? Like, what did I think about this? And it's a fascinating watch.
I need to know where I get the Bob Ross Monopoly.
Dead ass.
Like,
yes.
I was reading your guys.
Edition.
I was reading your guys' exchange on.
When he sent the word Monopoly to the group chat, I knew he had seen that movie. I was like, oh, he saw Heretic. Okay. I know what's up now. And that's why I came back with Bob Ross. Because Dave's always very like coy in the group chat. Like, we usually mostly know what he's seen, but he never really shares opinions or anything on it. He really saves it for here. Whereas I'm on there like, bitch, I fucking love this movie. This shit was amazing. You guys go see this shit. But Dave's very coy.
I ain't seen shit.
But I think both of you guys, this is a recommend for both of you. This is not something probably that I would buy, but I would most certainly rent it, borrow it, and I recommend it to kind of basically everyone, even non-horror lovers. This is a recommend, like really across the board, and this will be in my top 10 horror of the year.
I don't think anybody's going to watch it more than twice. I do think the pivotal scene will be seen hundreds and hundreds of times, and it will be, oh, I can just throw this in a tweet, or I can just send this over. Like it's kind of one of those type of things.
This is the perfect example of another movie that, like, it's just eventually going to get ruined via social media and all that kind of shit.
Bummer.
And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, even like The Substance, now I'm seeing that kind of like photos of Monster Elizasu and all that kind of shit, like on Twitter. And I mean, I get it, like some time has passed, but like it's just one of those things that's, I really didn't know anything about this going in. I hadn't seen a trailer for it. I knew it was a religious horror from A24 that starred Hugh Grant, and that's all I needed to know to go into it. And yeah, I'm glad that I got to experience it in that way, because it just, as it unfolded, I just was like, what's happening? Like, what are we doing?
I'm going to ask the question.
Yes.
Is there Satan magic?
Hail Satan. Any of that?
I would say maybe not. No.
I'd say no.
Okay.
I think there are some unexplained elements to it.
When super creepy Hugh Grant puts these girls in their situations, is he in the same room as them?
Yes.
For the most part, yes.
And
I will say Hugh Grant.
Why don't they just kill him?
Because
they're good Mormon girls.
Fair enough.
And honestly, for the most part, like he's so brilliant in this, I think, because this character, like, he's so charming and so pleasant, kind of, even when he's really not being that pleasant, that it's almost kind of like, are we actually, like, I mean, I would think like these girls probably, especially coming from their mindset, are thinking in this situation, is this man actually dangerous? Like, what's going on here? Because he's never mostly
outright
like menacing like that.
Okay.
Like, he's just Hugh Grant in his ugly years compared to his younger years, it's become such an interesting actor.
This was an interesting
role. He's great.
Where he is no longer worried about like
how he
being
looks,
charmingly befuddled.
Yeah, right. Like there's actual range now instead of I'm good looking.
Yeah, that's it, right? Facts. But yeah, this was it's definitely a recommend, guys, for sure. I mean, maybe not a rush out to the theater, but when it comes around to where you can watch it at home and stuff, I think it really is. It's a must see. Like I said, I'm gonna have 2 top 10 lists at the end of the year, and then for the show we'll do a top 5. But I'm gonna do my just overall top 10 and then a horror top 10, because I like horror so much. And this will not be in my top 10 of the year overall, but it absolutely has a place in my top 10 horror for sure. And then the next movie, I'm
excited to hear you guys talk about.
Here we go. All right.
I am so excited to talk about Anora, directed by Sean Baker. And I have to say, going into this movie, I had only seen one other film of his, which was The Florida Project, which I loved. I'd not seen Red Rocket. I'd not seen Tangerine. I think that's all changing soon because of Mr. Dave.
Red Rocket is amazing.
Okay. Oh, then I mean, I haven't seen that movie, but probably if you love that, I'm going to imagine you love Anora.
Don't watch Red Rocket at the gym.
Okay, right. Or Anora. Or
yeah,
Anora.
It's involving an ex porn star, right? Red Rocket. Yeah. I can't wait to watch that.
It's so good.
See it.
It's on Dave's Plex, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I need to figure out how to use that again.
As soon as I update my server.
Mikey
okay, thank you. I was like, it's not working. I was like, I can't watch anything.
Apparently I just need to update my server, and that is the issue right now.
All right.
Oh, okay,
awesome.
there it is.
Then I will watch it.
This is a film that we heard about during Cannes because this won the Palme d'Or this year, which is the top prize at the Cannes Film Festival in France. And sometimes you take a win like that with a grain of salt, but then Neon picked it up. And then I was like, oh, they picked up Parasite too. So I was like, oh, okay, then this must be something. And I loved the Florida Project. So this became very, very high on my anticipated list. And I was like, will this movie live up to the expectations that I'm now building in my head for it? And for me, I have to say, yes, a big fat fucking yes. This movie more than lived up to my expectations. Oh my God.
Okay, where to start?
Yeah.
Start at the beginning.
So here's the we'll go back to the tagline storyline just so everybody's Anora.
And no spoilers here, not a ton.
No, I'm just reading. I'm reading here from IMDb. Anora, a young sex worker from Brooklyn, meets and impulsively marries the son of an oligarch. Once news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as his parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled.
There it is. That's the perfect way to describe this movie for sure.
I need to say that every single character, every actor, every set piece, every bit of music is definitely so based in what I consider reality that it doesn't feel like a movie.
Oh, I agree.
I agree. It feels like I am just floating on a cloud around these people as it happens, observing what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
wow.
language, the exchange, the way the dialogue back and forth.
All this overlapping dialogue too. There's so many times where like five people are talking over. At once.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it feels so fucking real.
Like fumbles and dumble and little blips and like little mistakes, and it's so refreshing to see such a challenging subject done without putting a veil of fakeness around it. This isn't a Hollywood movie.
No, right, for sure.
This isn't like yes, it's a movie, it's telling a story, etc. But it's so real that you almost feel like it could be a documentary.
Definitely.
It doesn't pull any punches.
No. A lot of people have described this as like Pretty Woman adjacent, and I see that comparison kind of
in reality though.
Well, I mean, I see the comparison to that movie even. It has echoes of that in a way, but this is like the grungy indie, like pulling no punches version of the gritty dirty woman. Or Pretty Woman. Sorry. I had dirty in my head.
She's a dirty woman too.
Dirty woman.
I will say too that other than Thelma this year, this is the funniest fucking movie of the year.
Oh my God, I love that movie so much.
Thelma's hilarious.
I like Thelma. I checked it out.
And I cried.
This movie is hilarious. I thought it was hysterical through the majority of it until it punches you so hard at the end that I sat through this at least half the credits, and then I got in my car and then I drove for a couple minutes and then I started crying because of it. Because of how much it had.
Really?
And the thing is, we can't talk about the
no,
because just the way it is, we can't talk about it till you see it. And then when we do all see it, I want to have this discussion.
Oh, and even if you described it, it wouldn't do what happens in the end of this movie justice in any way, shape, or form. Not in my opinion.
100%. 100%. there's two amazing performances that stand out amongst the amazing performances. Of course, you have Mickey Madison, who
she's amazing,
is proving the fact that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is this generation's Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Because anybody that was in the ranch scene is just a star now.
Branching off.
Oh,
doing
wow.
your own thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Austin Butler, like
that.
Margaret Qualley.
Like Mickey Madison is the girl that gets the can to the face from Brad Pitt and then lit on fire by DiCaprio at the end.
Yeah. Well, she was also in Scream.
Scream 5. Yeah,
Yes.
Scream 5, right. Yeah.
I gotta watch that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I had no idea, but yeah.
But she plays so her name is Anora, which in doing a little bit of research afterward, Anora is almost like a poverty name in Russia.
Oh,
so
okay.
like it's
that makes very much sense for this.
It's almost like a lower class name.
Okay.
And she can speak Russian because her mother or grandmother refused to learn the new language when she came over. She goes by Annie in the movie.
Okay.
And basically is put with this Russian oligarch, teener, tweener, young 20-something, because she can speak Russian. So they kind of go back and forth. I can tell you how amazing this movie is because of an ick moment that I had.
Okay.
So it's I don't know what it is, but when characters, especially men, keep their socks on having sex in a movie.
Oh, I do.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
Feeling it all tonight.
No, but it's just
Not always, but
hear me out. Like
feet are cold.
Like the generic white tube sock with brown bottoms because of the dirty floors. So like the first time the two characters have sex, he is just rocking the dirty feet socks, and like it's a full ick moment for me. But at the same time, like I'm like
it's so
okay,
real.
It's so real.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially for Chad.
Yes.
Yeah, especially for me, but I wear black socks usually. So
okay, there you go.
Wait, are they your business socks because it's business time?
Okay,
they're gold toes.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, Coach, too.
Yes.
Did you notice or pick up in this? I did not until the second time that I watched it. That the first time, so the way this film starts out is almost this like euphoric, energetic, like nonstop, just kind of, I don't want to say excitement, but there's just this euphoria to like the first probably 40 minutes of this.
It
that
keeps
like
building and building and building, that you're with this character as she has her life improve from just
one-upping constantly.
She is a stripper, and then she is just kind of hanging out and partying with all these rich people, and then like the marriage happens, and then you're just on a roller coaster, and then bang, you're in for the ride.
Yeah, there's this like centerpiece moment of the film that is this just incredible, at least probably 20 minutes or more, 20 to maybe almost 30 minutes, that completely changes everything. It doesn't change everything that came before it, but it changes the film and the progression of where we're going with this film.
And we are introduced. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think this is a perfect time.
We are my new baby's dad.
To Chad's baby daddy, who is the second, if not the best, acting performance in this movie, and his name is Yura Borsov.
Yes.
Borsov?
Oh.
So he plays Igor.
Oh, he's so good.
And he is a bodyguard / heavy with a heart of gold, but at the same time, like, it's a guy that's just not really affected. Like, he just does what needs to be done, and it's just like, okay. Yeah. Like, it just brushes off the insanity of it, and you will fall in love with this guy.
Oh my God!
Like you're bringing home a puppy.
Yes.
Aww.
Dead ass. I fully 100% in every way. Yes. I love him
think
so
I
much.
think you guys have sold this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Carly, we got to go check this out.
Well, I was gonna say too, there's a part. This is what I was getting at a minute ago. There's a part like when you hit this like sort of centerpiece moment of the film, and Anora, Annie, our main character, Mikey Madison, has up until this point only ever been referred to as Annie, and then once things change and the progression of this film changed, that's the very first time you ever hear her referred to as Anora or understand that her name actually is Anora. And it's so brilliantly done because it's almost this throwaway moment as they're like walking to a car outside of a house.
Mm-hmm.
And it like kind of signifies this like change in tone kind of, and like this film kind of almost like goes into the level of like screwball comedy because it's so kind of over the top in a way, and it is just so fucking funny that it's kind of ridiculous, but it's also like Coach said, it's almost like watching a documentary. There's this realism to it that you can't help but just or at least I couldn't help but like fall under the spell of.
There's a scene in a church that is so absurd
Yeah,
that you're just laughing and you're like, what is going on here? At the same time, you're like, this, I can see this. Yes, this makes sense.
Really?
Yes, he would do that.
This man would do that. Yep.
He would absolutely do this.
Absolutely.
I got it. It's so, and I did feel this with the Florida Project too. When I saw it, I was a huge advocate for that movie. There was a reality to that movie that that made the story so much more tragic.
Yeah, it's sobering. It's like sobering for sure.
And you know, like I think this is just the perfect type of movie that could do major awards, but unfortunately be forgotten about because of the rating, the nature of this movie, etc.
Sure. It has a ton of very explicit sex in it, a ton of nudity, a ton. I mean, like the very like, and this is definitely not spoiling anything. The opening sequence of this film is the camera gliding along like a strip club as like multiple women are like giving lap dances to men. And I mean, we're talking, these are not like PG-13 lap dances. They are giving lap dances as fun.
Yes.
Everybody's got their white socks on.
Yeah, right. But it was so brilliant. Like it just set the stage for all of this, and especially with where this film ends, which it just is such a, it's devastating. Yes. I thought it was devastating where this film ends, but not like.
Well, I wasn't expecting a happy ending.
Well, not quite in that kind of way. Like, I mean, it's not devastating maybe in the way that you think. It's devastating from a character's perspective. And seeing where these people that you've latched onto through this entire thing and where they end up through all of this and all of what's happened here and the humanity behind it. That's what's devastating, or what I thought was devastating.
Because you're presented as a voyeur in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Where it is you've been entertained and you're along this journey and you almost feel like you're watching the entire thing through a glass window. When everything goes down, you almost feel bad that there's nothing that you can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's why Sean Baker is so masterful in what he does here, because there is a guilt that you get for like watching this and enjoying this when the reality of all these different things hit. You know, well, why am I laughing at this? Why am I enjoying this? Or, you know, why am I along for the right? Like, why didn't I say something? Why didn't I shout stop? Or
sure,
that type of thing. And it is a masterclass in direction.
Yes, it is.
You know, like he's instantly the top for me for director of the year.
He's one of the most exciting American filmmakers working right now, especially with this. And again, I've only seen 2 of his movies, but I can only imagine how I'm going to feel about Tangerine and Red Rocket.
I mean, Tangerine it was done on an iPhone.
Yeah.
When you watch that, you're just amazed that it was
how
done.
did he do what was done with this?
I mean, Red Rocket is an absolute comedy, but there's these real moments, but then these. He is one of the best working right now, and it is I'm excited to see where he goes next, because every time he goes somewhere, it's not where I expected.
Yeah.
And he doesn't be like, I'm going to do a studio. Like, you're not going to see Sean Baker's Fast and Furious 15.
Okay, right. He's interested in telling his stories, which I think is,
right.
and they all do kind of revolve a lot, or at least like with Florida Project, and from what I understand in other movies, around like sex work and like people that are kind of on the fringes of society a bit, which of course Anora is in this movie. But I will be goddamned if you don't leave this movie loving Anora, Annie. Just so much that you just want to hold this woman and just tell her how amazing she is and how much you love her. And like, it's going to be okay. Yeah, it's going to be okay.
And I think that's what helps it is there is not an actor that you're like, oh, I know him. I know.
That's what I love.
Yeah, that really
what
helped.
I love so much. He did that so well with Red Rocket. I did not recognize anybody.
Right.
And I think
that makes it feel so real, dude.
He plays sadness legit.
Oh yeah.
You know, because
he lets you sit in your puddle of tears.
It's
yes.
little chunks of real life in which guess what? This is sad. But guess what? Sad people also have to exist.
Sure, of course.
You know, it is not just a show up, watch that. It's you know what? This is shit, but I still have to live.
Definitely.
And it's people living through their shit.
And he never looks down on the people.
No.
I mean, you can see this almost as like poverty porn, or like, you know what I mean? Like lower levels of society or society porn, that kind of shit. But he's not coming at it from that perspective at all. He's coming at it from a perspective of respect. And these people exist as well. They're humans. They're human beings, and they're just like you and me. And and you feel that here for sure, and in the Florida Project. And I will say, this is something I did not ever expect to say this year, guys. The Substance is still definitely my number one film of the year. But Anora has supplanted Challengers and is now my second favorite film of the year. And I never expected that to happen, because Challengers is so fucking great. So it's not a super wide gap, but Anora for me, number two for sure. And this is a movie, even though it's not difficult necessarily, especially till really the end, but this is a movie I could watch 1,000,000 fucking times and just love it constantly. And just a comfort watch. I could listen to this movie,
but not at the gym.
Not at the gym. At least not with videos on. Not with videos on. There's way too much sex for that.
Maybe with headphones.
Just the audio.
We can't put a little Beats speaker out there and run this, but so I have held on to my number one since January of this year.
Oh my god, dude!
It's a long time.
Oh no, I know what your number one is. I already know what it is.
And now,
oh shit.
Hundreds of Beavers is now number two.
Oh my god, dude! I am shook.
That's a bold statement.
Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It's on Tubi.
Okay.
It is free on Tubi.
And Coach's Play, and I still haven't seen it yet, which I will.
And it's also on the Plex as well. Hundreds of Beavers is a slapstick black and white comedy about
about hundreds of beavers.
Only 99, ironically.
Yeah. Basically, that he needs to kill hundreds of beavers in order to earn the love of his fair maiden. However, all the beavers are played by people in beaver costumes.
Yes, hell yeah.
You can watch this at the gym, but people will raise their eyebrows.
They're going to be like,
very confused.
Yes.
Like,
there are many snow penises in hundreds of beavers.
What is a snow penis? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're from the South.
I don't know what a snow penis is.
Let the Canadian and the guy from Pennsylvania explain what a snow penis is to those in the South.
Well,
you make a penis out of snow.
When a man and woman love each other very much.
I know all about that now. Come on. Kids.
Okay, just imagine it really.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Nah, it's a nice dildo.
It's an ice dildo?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. There
okay.
it is.
So
Interesting.
you
That
need to
seems-
love somebody very much. And
That seems
trust is
very
involved.
painful.
I'm
Agreed.
not going to say I know that it is.
Okay, so
I
we're
mean, just
talking
as
about
anyways,
what's our
let's
favorite
yes.
collections. What's our favorite collection?
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's
What's
move
our
on.
franchise? We're talking about
Enough with the
franchises.
snow penis.
Feet invaders. Feet
And
invaders
it's my
make a
fault.
comeback.
That is 100% my fault. We are back
What-
to Feet Invaders.
Wait,
Yeah.
one other thing I want to say really quick about Anora before we move on
Okay.
is that
But you're
this
saying
movie.
about snow penises.
No. This movie, seriously, I swear to God, if you're like the kind of person who is like, that was the can winner, I'm over it, that kind of shit, this film, no shit, more than lives up to any hype that came before it, in my opinion.
Mhm.
This is no doubt one of the best things I've watched this year and is something I'll never forget watching. Like, I'll never forget this film. And I will watch this definitely so many more times. So don't let this like prestigious, like awardsy buzz type shit
Or
like
if you
get in
feel
your
like
way.
somebody spoiled it, go see
I
it
don't think you
anyway.
can-
You'll still like it. There is no real spoil to it.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
I agree.
It's more it's so new to people that it's like I don't want to have the conversation with people who haven't seen it first.
Yeah, it's kind of like a slice of life, like kind of like a all one, not exactly, but like sort of like what happens across like one night type of shit. And it just meets and exceeds every expectation you should have. And I think this is something that we're going to keep hearing about like through the rest of this year. And people are just going to get on this bandwagon with it and just love it and love it and love it. And it deserves every ounce of love that it could possibly get. It's just spectacular.
Yeah, I've
There you
only
go.
heard good stuff about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Everything that I've
I
heard
can't
about
wait-
has been very
I can't wait
positive.
until you guys have seen it and we can all like really sit here and like talk about it. Like talk
Maybe
about
we'll
it.
just do a special of all four of us.
Yes.
talking
Yeah,
about
no, we
Anora.
have to.
Anora.
No, for sure. Just like we did
Maybe,
the substance, like we need
Yeah,
to get
that was
into
cool
it
too.
like that. And
No.
yeah, it's wonderful. And I think I'm gonna predict now that both of you guys will absolutely love this too. It's just hard not to love.
You
It's
better.
a lovable film. Yeah, exactly.
You fucking better.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
right.
better, like,
Are you
And then
better?
one thing that came up recently that Mr. Brad brought to our attention is, what is our favorite film franchise? So I'm going to let him take this away, and we're about to tell you our favorite film franchise, bitch. Let's go.
well, there's another threat. Yeah, we're about to tell you. And you're gonna listen. This is a
That's right.
podcast. Yeah. No, I was actually just kind of scrolling through TV, and I have IPTV, so there's a little subcategory.
Wait, what's IPTV?
IPTV is illegal television.
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I pay very little and get a whole bunch.
Let's get it,
So,
Daddy.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's it. This is the world we live in. So there's subcategories, and some subcategories were Al Pacino movies, Star Wars movies, what the hell was it? Wrestling movies, various little things. There's a lot of wrestling movies. I didn't know that, but it got me thinking. You know what, man? I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I love Marvel. So many things, and they're all like buzzword is franchise.
Mhm.
What is your favorite franchise series? Just sit back and what is something that you put on and you love? What is something that reached you when you were a kid that you still enjoy? What is something you just recently discovered that this is just it? This does it for me. Now,
Yeah.
we all cheated
Okay,
because
right.
you can't just pick one. Let's
No.
not even joke. You can't. You know, people ask me what my favorite movie is. I normally have a default answer, but it kind of depends on the day.
Sure.
You know, what's your favorite song? Depends on the day. What's your favorite meal? Depends on the day. What's your favorite franchise? Depends on the day. So give us a break. We're each picking two. And I'm sure we'll probably cheat within the rules of what we've just kind of laid out as well. Because
there are a lot of good franchises, guys.
because we cheat and shut up. It's our game. We don't care. So I guess I'll start. I'll do my first one because I know you got two. And it starts with the DC animated universe.
Oh, okay.
Now, DC animated universe started with Batman the Animated Series. Bruce Timm, Dini, kind of treating Batman serious. Not as serious as someone who there's a clown, a crocodile man, a deformed penguin man, all that stuff. But they gave it some gravitas. And as a child, I watched that and I loved it. So much to the point that they came up with a feature film, Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
I've heard of it for sure.
Which played on Christmas Day.
35 millimeter.
35 millimeter. And it was a theatrical release that bombed because it was played on Christmas Day. I know it played on Christmas Day because I went and saw it. My family, they would go to Florida and leave the kids at home. And my sister was off, so I had nothing to do. So I got on my motorcycle, I rode to the movie theater and watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I loved it. Now, since then, they have had the Justice League Unlimited, so many single arc Batman titles and Suicide Squad titles, various little things, and I have enjoyed every one of them. They're based upon comic books, but they do not sit right perfect with them. They take liberties. Now, I might be the worst comic book fan in the world because I love...
No way, sir.
I love when movies take liberties. I want to see something a little different because if I wanted to see what I read, I already read it. I don't want verbatim. And these there's, I think there's like honestly 75 of these things. And I will throw on and watch one just when there's nothing else on. And I sit back and I'm a big animation fan. That's always what I wanted to do when I was a kid. And just to watch the storytelling, the voice acting, everything. It's kid stuff treated seriously. But it's not treated so seriously that you can't enjoy it as a kid. And one of the things that my daughter made me promise I'd talk about this out of the DC animated universe is something that is very divisive, but that is a little show called Teen Titans Go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, if you got kids, you've watched this. And my daughter's 14 now. We started when she was much younger, and we would sit and watch this, and I would laugh my ass off. It is hilarious. It is little short clips of the Teen Titans just being stupid as hell. So much to the point. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Shoot.
What the fuck is Teen Titans like in this grand scheme of? I really don't know, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's no worries. Teen Titans was Aqualad, was Robin, was all the
Aqualad.
Yeah, the young version.
Aquaman's
Aquaman's
like
Muppet Babies.
It's
no.
Muppet
It's all the sidekicks of DC, the teenage sidekicks.
When they're
you had
kids.
Robin, you had Speedy, you had Aqualad, you had Beast Boy, Cyborg, Starfire. All the sidekicks joined and started their own team, and they called them the Teen Titans.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, Brad. I'm thinking of that Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
I thought they de-aged some of them.
Oh, they probably did. I mean, it's freaking, it's animation. You can do whatever the hell you want. But I mean, they did this little cartoon, Teen Titans Go, and they actually lean into the ridiculous comedy of it. And it is one of the funniest damn shows. I mean, when you have voice actors wanting to play on Teen Titans Go, when Darkseid, the biggest bad of the DC universe, is played by Weird Al Yankovic, you know you got something going.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
So I include that into the mix of the DC animated universe, which I'm still enjoying today. So yeah, that is probably my number 2 franchise, which I watched Batman Bad Blood the other day.
Okay.
And
isn't there a Batman Halloween? Wait.
The Long Halloween. Yep.
Yeah. That's what
And it actually stars the young lady from The Penguin.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Or the character, at least, the Hangman.
There it is.
Yeah. So all this lore is, they're going to mine it until we're all dead.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And they're going to keep doing it.
To this day, man, like, I'm not the most comic book centric person, but Batman is my favorite comic book character still of all time.
Cool.
And I don't really see that changing anytime soon.
Why would it?
Especially when like they bring out shit like Kraven the Hunter, and I was like, is that even a real person?
They're all, well, first of all, none of them are real. So I don't understand why people get mad at them.
Comic characters.
I don't understand why people get mad at them. Oh, that's not real. You're right. Yes. People.
Well, when I first saw the Kraven the Hunter trailer, which was way earlier this year, I was like, are they making people up at this point? Because I have literally never heard of any of this shit.
No, he's a real character.
Yeah. I've learned that now through the video game, but yeah.
They don't have to make up characters. They have got such a litany from the 60s, the 40s. There is a Flash villain called the Rainbow Raider. So yeah, you do not have to make up stuff.
That sounds like my new name.
Your Rainbow Raider.
Man has his own show.
Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Kite Man. Hell yeah. There it is.
There you go. He's got a kite on his back. He's very good at hang gliding. That's his power.
All right.
Yeah.
Really useful.
Not even joking. Yeah. It's not all Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and Catwoman and all the cool villains. They pick on
some lame
everybody. Ones. It's so good. But yeah, that is my number 2. So somebody else jump on number 2.
Oh, okay. My number 2, guys, and it's going to be very, very quick. I had a hard time with this one, guys, and I think we all know I'm a horror fan as fuck, but it was like horror versus non-horror as far as like what's my favorite franchise. And what almost edged out horror for me was the Mission Impossible franchise.
That was almost creeping into mine.
That's a good franchise.
It's so good. And I didn't think it started off great. I don't love the first Mission Impossible.
Part 2 kicks ass. I don't care.
I like the second one way more.
I don't care what anybody says. Part 2 kicks ass.
That's okay.
I like it too, man. I like it way more than most other people.
It's very John Woo.
Oh yeah.
But from
John Woo.
that moment on,
Flying doves.
I feel like there's been, of course, like kind of ups and downs with it, but this is a franchise for me that just keeps getting like better and better and better. And like Dead Reckoning, I think last year, I'm pretty sure.
It's fantastic.
And I mean, it came on top of shit that you're just like, oh god, this is so fucking good. So yeah, Mission Impossible, man, it's just a great fucking franchise. You can, if you like action, and Tom Cruise, yeah, we know he's iffy and he's a little bit weird and all that.
Yeah, but you know what? Tom Cruise is weird. Every actor is weird. Do you know?
But he's amazing.
Weird? Ethan Hunt is amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing in these movies, and at his age, which I couldn't even relate to because I'm 22.
You're 22.
He just absolutely just murders this shit, and like his insistence on like doing like
practical
these practical stunts and shit is just unreal. And yeah, Mission Impossible, man, I can't recommend this series enough. It is truly one of the best action franchises that we have in modern day, I think, next to John Wick. That was a kind of third mention, but yeah.
So what is your favorite Mission Impossible movie? Because that's, I know a lot of them kind of blend in together, but
this is going to be controversial.
The
probably.
Second one?
No. Well, no, I like that one though, for real.
No, I'll lower my hand. I have a number up, and I think we're gonna agree.
3?
Mine. Okay, so if I had to choose between two, it would be between three, because Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I love,
Yes,
and Dead Reckoning, and I am going to go with 3 because of Philip Seymour Hoffman. He is the best motherfucking bad guy
Yes.
ever.
yeah, he was.
I am right here with you.
Oh, he
Yeah.
is so good. He is so unhinged. He is so terrifying. He is so a force to be reckoned with.
He's so unassuming as a villain because he does not look physically imposing. He does not look like a threat until he is on the plane and he's saying, "Do you have a wife? Do you have a
I would
girlfriend?
have his babies because of Mission Impossible 3.
I'm gonna hurt you. I'm
just
hurt her
saying.
in front of you." Like, God, he was.
Yes.
He was pretty amazing.
When Kerry Russell died, I jumped. The
It's
little
Spoiler.
glitch thing.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Just joking.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
but yeah, Mission Impossible, man, I can't recommend that shit enough. Any of it. And Mission Impossible, I forget what they called this newest one. I think they released a teaser for it, the Final Reckoning, maybe. I think they tried to distance themselves from like the part 1, part 2 of things.
The final reckoning till we hand it off to somebody else.
But honestly, I'm seated at the very first available screen in my area.
They will play that here.
Well, do you hear who Tom Cruise would like to hand it off to?
Oh God.
There's a connection.
Okay.
Imagine a t-shirt and a cowboy hat in the rain.
Wait.
Glenn Powell?
For real?
For real.
Ooh.
Honestly, I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, the Captain American act.
Well, Glenn Powell is at that age too, where like he's young enough to where he could take this motherfucking shit if he's like Tom Cruise through the next like 20 years.
Well, I mean, and you could still have Ethan Hunt as a director.
Yeah.
Behind the thing. Maybe he gets his legs cut off.
I think you save a limb. You get like two more movies and then kind of slightly bring him back.
No, get his legs cut off and now he's behind a desk all the time. No more running. Mission Impossible
is not a desk man.
It really is a
Mission Impossible. No more running.
Right.
So segue everywhere.
But yeah, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, especially, like for whatever reason, it blew my fucking mind in the theater. I think it was the first one I had seen in a while in theater, so maybe that kind of skews my experience a little bit. But it just I was like, I cannot wait to come back and see this shit again, literally tomorrow, which I did the next day to see it again. And yeah, so yeah. So what about you, Miss Carly? Like, what was your runner-up, I should say?
Okay, yeah. So my runner-up, because like you said, I love horror movies, so it was kind of hard for me to, when I think of favorite franchise, I just think of horror movies because there's so many of them. But ultimately, I decided to choose my runner-up as the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah. Oh God, you don't know how close it was for me between this and what I chose as my favorite franchise. So yes, please go on.
I just really love the franchise in general. As you can tell, I have a poster behind me. I have a pillow of the Necronomicon. And
that's what that is. Oh, I was wondering about that. Right beside the Toxic Avenger.
Yep. That's it. So
there's not a bad movie in this franchise.
No,
I really
you're
don't
wrong.
think they're
all bad, but they're so bad they're good.
Okay,
well, I would say probably my least favorite, and this may be controversial, but is the first one. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong.
I agree.
I had to start somewhere. But I really like how I know that they really focused on the whole horror aspect of the first one. And then the second one, they kind of brought in a more slapstick comedy mixed with the horror, which I really enjoyed because I really think that Sam Raimi did a great job. And then, of course, the third one is even more different. It's more of an action adventure, fantasy, comedy. It's got some horror in it as well. But I really like where they went with it. I love Bruce Campbell. Oh my God.
Did you ever meet him?
It's awesome. I did. That's funny that you asked that.
I met him at a
book signing. Oh, okay. I went to a book signing.
Convention.
Yep. I went to his second book. I think it was Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way. So I went there and I had him sign that book and If Chins Could Kill, his autobiography. I don't think he's wearing socks while he's while he's having sex.
That's me. Oh my God, we just I'm gonna hang my head in shame for like the next
do
week,
what I
guys.
do. Just wear your fishnets.
No, I absolutely love Bruce Campbell. So I mean, it was kind of hard going from Army of Darkness to then it went to the what was it? 2013 Evil Dead remake, which was good, but
it's my favorite.
I like all of the practical effects. I love all of that. But it was just a little too what's serious? The word? Yeah, a little too serious for me, a little too bleak. I would have enjoyed a little bit more of the slapstick kind of intermittent kind of fit in there, but yeah, I really like that one though
bridges
too.
The gap a little bit between 2013 and the originals. Like it kind of like brings that comedy element back to an extent while still being like
yes, it definitely kind of bridges the gap and kind of goes back towards the original movies, kind of pays homage to them, which I really enjoyed. And of course, you've got all of the video games that have come out. Of course, the TV series, Ash versus Evil Dead.
I have not seen.
I have not watched all of it,
plushies, but like every little thing, they've really, really jumped on it. And why not? Have you seen Evil Dead the musical?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
I actually went and saw it.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, they do a musical of Evil Dead. I have the soundtrack. Honestly, you can download it or you can listen to it on Spotify, but I have a CD of it, and all the actors signed it, and it is ridiculous and funny, and they pull no punches, and I still have a crush on 2 of the women and 3 of the men in this thing.
They're all good looking.
They're not, but they're just so good at what they do.
They're really committed.
I have so many future ex-wives and ex-husbands that came out of Evil Dead. It was, if it comes around, it actually has made a resurgence, so it is still around. If you get a chance, go check it out. It is worth it.
There it is.
If you sit in the front row, you will get wet.
Okay.
You will get what? Wet?
All right.
They splash blood. They splash blood. They splash blood on the crowd.
I stay wet.
So it's like a Gallagher thing.
Oh yeah.
Instead of the watermelon, it's
you'll get watermelon. No, there is legit people like their hearts exploding on the screens and gushing, and they will lean over in the crowd and splash it on you.
Nice.
That sounds lit.
It was.
Yeah. What about you, Coach? What's your runner up, sir?
I'm gonna steal Brad's number 1. So mine is going to be the Jay and Silent Bob
The
universe.
View Askew?
The View Askew universe. That is Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy Cartoon Movie, which I loved, and saw live with them as they did a podcast in Philly. The Jay and Silent Bob reboot, we can all skip that one.
That had Chris Hemsworth.
That is the saddest Ben Affleck that I have ever seen. Every time I see that, it's Ben Affleck at his worst.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I live for his memes.
Yeah, I'm back.
He had the best line in that movie, written by Kevin Smith, ever. And it's not a humorous line or anything like that.
No, I know, but
it was.
What's the line? Yeah, I'm trying to hear that.
He says, when you're star of the show. When you have a kid, you're the stage.
Oh.
And I love that line. I think that line is great. That's sold it. And Chris Hemsworth is in it. So
I'm a huge fan of the animated I remember watching that on ABC on premiere night. There was another show that premiered at the same time on CBS. Can anybody guess it?
No,
Well,
I
not-
do not know.
Are you,
What
you
year?
talking the super groovy cartoon movie or the Clerks cartoon?
The Clerks cartoon that was on ABC.
Oh.
Hmm.
It is still on the air.
I may have gotten rid of cable at that point.
Frasier?
Shit, I really don't know.
So that was back. The cartoon was back in like 2000, maybe 2002. It premiered on the same night as the first episode ever of Survivor.
Oh,
No way.
Is part of the
hate
reason why
Survivor.
the animated series did not last long.
Oh,
Because-
yeah.
6 episodes.
That
Do you know how
reality
long ago
TV.
that feels? Fuck.
Dude, that's fucking forever.
That is almost a quarter of a decade ago.
That's
Oh my
embarrassing.
god.
And I remember right
But we're
where I
all
was
22,
watching
guys.
So
that.
old.
We're all 22.
Yeah.
So, and I
Mosquitoes when I
also
was watching that apparently then.
I played the Jay and Silent Bob video games. I'm just a big fan of Jay and Silent Bob. It was little telephone games, but it is what it is.
No.
So, Brad, I'm
Have
sorry
you-
if I took your number one.
So have you been to any of his talks or anything? Kevin Smith?
I've been
Like
I've
an
been to
evening
about
with?
4 live shows.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
Oh,
I have
shit.
not been to his movie theater,
Okay.
but I am about an hour and 15 minutes, no, maybe an hour and 30 from the comic book shop.
Oh, nice.
So I've been there.
Inside Bob's Secret Stash?
Yep, I've been there a number of times.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, because
Now-
I got to watch his when he did an evening with Kevin Smith,
Yep.
and that was really awesome. And then he also did the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, the tour.
Mhm.
I got
Yep.
to watch that too. That was really fun.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm curious to see the movie theater. And it was funny. One of my coworkers, she had tickets to go see Deadpool Wolverine with a Q&A with Kevin Smith.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's awesome. I love his Q&As. They're so great.
Yeah, he's
They even
good.
had a wedding at the last one I
Yes.
went to. They had someone get married at the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
That's
Crazy.
great. He has really turned a career or like a movie, Clerks, which was original at the time, into
His breakout.
such
Yeah.
a franchise, as we said. Now, you know the funny thing is, my favorite Kevin Smith movie has nothing to do with Jay or Silent Bob.
Oh, I'm curious.
Is that Chasing Amy?
It's not
Nope.
Jersey Girl, is it?
Mallrats?
No, Jay and Silent Bob are in Mallrats.
Yeah, kitty.
Oh, yeah. That's not about them.
I
then.
shared my favorite like Kevin Smith
Oh,
movie
Red
recently,
State.
which was
Nope.
not.
Tusk.
Yeah,
Nope.
Tusk was mine, but
What
yeah,
else is there?
everybody was like,
Wait, it's not
let's
Cop
go- Hold
Out.
on.
It's not Cop Out.
Dogma? No, they're in that.
You've hit every one except the one.
Jersey Girl. I'm just kidding. Yoga Hosers?
What about Jersey Girl?
The 4:30 movie?
no, not that.
Oh
I'm
my
just gonna say
goodness. Zach and Miri? Make
Zach
a
and Mary
porno?
make a porno.
Oh,
Okay.
it is good. It's good for sure.
That is my
Can I
favorite
get-
Kevin Smith movie.
I endorse that
Can I
film
get
as well.
coffee black?
Can't you see I'm busy? White. Yeah. No, when I saw that movie, it was just I don't know, at my peak wanting to laugh at silly shit, and it just really punched every button of like laughing at silly shit.
But it's also lovely in like really like every sense of that word.
Oh,
It's a
hell yeah.
lovely film.
it's a
so
love story.
funny.
It's a love story,
And yeah,
and
I'm with you, man.
That was my favorite Kevin Smith movie. Very cool. So I guess my number one. Well, Dave, it is not
Okay.
the View universe.
Oh my god. Wait, hold
We
on.
may have 4 different choices then.
This is legitimately difficult subject matter tonight because we all thought this. So
You guys all thought it was. Ooh. No. My movie franchise is not a big franchise, but it's something that just really hit me. And deep down, out of being an 80s kid, enjoying the movies I did, going to see the movies that my father took me to, it was all about escapism and ridiculous action. And you cannot get much more escapist and ridiculous action than the John Wick movies.
Oh,
All right.
yes. Oh, you don't know how close this shit was. I love John Wick.
A couple of my favorite movies. First one is Leon the Professional, about a hitman. One of my second, third, fourth, whatever you want to call it, is Gross Point Blank.
Oh my god, that movie is so good.
I love Gross Point Blank so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them that I'm going to listen on my phone tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can't go home, but you can shop there.
You can shop there.
It's dead. I'm dead.
The Benny the Jet martial artist who fights John Cusack. Yeah, you don't get any better than that. This guy like trained with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and such. But we're gonna talk about Mr. Keanu Reeves, who is pretty much so stoic and just in his uber revenge tale.
Well, he's a beast.
Ultimately, starting with a revenge that turns into secret societies, which evolves to really cool hotels, to fantastic art, to like
really great world building in general.
So great world building. Like this was a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
There was nobody in capes and
no capes.
Sorry. And I was, because I'm such a fan and boning up on it for this topic. First of all, I know how many people John Wick has killed in all 4 movies.
Oh,
I'll let you guys take a stab at it. I'll let you guys take a stab at it in a second.
All right, we'll do Price is Right style.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I want to guess too, for real.
You go first.
Okay. In all 4 movies, John Wick, there is a number of people that he has killed. Somebody paid attention.
I'm gonna guess 137.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess 225.
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
I'm going to say 226 playing Price is Right.
Okay.
Or $1.
Hey, first of all, Coach, you're a dick for playing that way.
I'll give a number.
That
We're
was
going to
go
317.
Oh, God.
Well, if you remember, the first person he killed was the one of the guys that broke into his house, the Kill Squad.
Mm-hmm.
He was that person. The same stunt actor was the last person he killed because Keanu Reeves works with the same stunt people a lot. And this gentleman was the first, and also, not counting the big ones, the 439th person that he killed.
Holy shit.
Now,
I figured it was pretty
I knew it was high, but like not
that is not like the most kills in a franchise. Perhaps the most stylish kills in a franchise.
Oh yes.
But there are many stunt players running around that worked in the John Wick movies that Keanu Reeves gave them T-shirts. And on the T-shirts it says John Wick has killed me 14 times.
Yes,
John Wick has killed me 19 times. So I don't know.
Murder me.
Same, oh man, I'd be down for that. Just the suits, the style, everything to the point in which where a friend of mine who's in the military said that movie is a reason that, when he shoots whatever handgun
or whatever,
first of all, it's very realistic with the handguns, because once he's out of bullets, he's out of bullets.
Sure.
Keanu Reeves and the stunt coordinator came up with a way to expel the cartridge, and it is a wrist flick. Rather than pulling it out, putting it back in, he shoots and it's a wrist flick and it snaps the cartridge out.
That's hot.
Modern military uses that now.
And I'm soaked.
Because apparently it shaves off 0.8 point something like
that's all
of a second.
Yeah, that matters.
To allow you to put more bullets into more people. And it has my favorite scene in any movie is from John Wick Part 1. And I laugh at it every time, and I'll watch it on YouTube when I got nothing else to watch. It is after the kill squad has come in. He has murdered everybody, and there's a knock at the door, and there's the cop. Evening, Jimmy. Hey, John. Noise complaint? Yeah. The cop looks in. You working again, John? It's like, nah. Just figuring a few things out. Night, John. Night, Jimmy. It's just so, because you're expecting, oh my God, he's fucked. And he's like, no, the cop knows that he used to be a fucking hitman. And did he die at the end? Maybe. But I will really absolutely look forward to the spinoff of the ballerina.
Yeah, so, no, I'm here for it for sure.
So yeah, for me, it's John Wick.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Great. And very great choice.
Thank you.
I guess now we're moving into like our first choices. And for me, this is going to be the most boring motherfucking choice literally ever documented. However, this is the horror franchise for me that has no misses. It has none. No. Right. it just doesn't miss, at least yet. And it has come close to missing a couple of times, but still hasn't missed. And that is Scream.
Wow, really?
Oh.
Hey, listen, it was on my top contenders too. I really love Scream.
Okay. I know with all of the horror franchise out there, that was not the one I thought you would
very solid.
I mean, there is not, in my opinion, a bad film in this series. There are a couple, Scream 3, Scream 6, that get close to it, but just truly not like a bad presentation for this series yet.
Hey, Coach, Jay and Silent Bob was in one.
Yeah, Scream 3, dude. Yeah, oh yeah.
The best
Scream
one.
3, man.
That's true. No. Definitely not the best one.
Definitely not. I agree. I'm with Carly.
Yeah, can we all agree? I don't need Jerry O'Connell singing like
no
songs.
That's part 2. He's so cute.
That's part 2.
He's so adorable in that movie.
He's
Fuck.
so dead.
Isn't Timothy Olyphant in that one as well?
Yep.
Part
yes. 2? Oh, yes. He was one of the killers in that one.
Yeah, he's cool.
Spoiler. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay, Brian. Yeah. Spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, and Silent Bob doesn't talk, everybody, as long as you're spoiling shit.
Yes, that's right. Except for once, usually in one movie, like once per
movie.
Right. Very profound speech.
Like Mission Impossible and then Evil Dead, which I think rivals Scream for like having like a friend of mine recently on Twitter, Chuck, you know who you are, said Evil Dead does not crack. And yeah, I agree with that. But I also agree with Scream does not crack because there just has not been a bad film yet. There have been ones that have approached bad. And I'm gonna
say not as good.
I'm gonna call out Scream 6 on this one. Scream 6 is exceptional. It's like everything you have ever wanted from a Scream film until you get in Scream. I think, yeah, and well, I'm
careful what you wish for.
I mean, I think we know that like Scream, it kind of relies on this sort of like whodunit aspect and
why are they still doing it?
Yeah, like why is this happening? All that kind of shit. And Scream 6 had the least convincing final act of any of the Scream films. However, up until that final act, this had one of the most convincing. This movie is incredible. Scream is great. And because of that, like, I can't really knock it too much. Yeah. Is it bad? Sort of. Yeah. It's bad adjacent.
Doesn't matter. Do you love it?
Yeah. I don't love Scream 6, but I love where Scream 6 sort of led us to, minus that like final third. And that didn't work for me 100%. I mean, it mildly worked for me because it fell in line with like everything that has come before it and what we've expected from the franchise and all that kind of shit. But Scream is one of the most important like horror franchises of my life.
I could say that, yeah. That's fair.
It's not cinema. I'll say that. But it is important slasher cinema. And I'm going to ride that horse for real. Scream is important splasher. Oh my God. Slasher cinema.
Tell me more about this splasher cinema.
Oh my God.
Splasher.
Fuck.
Is Henry Winkler in any of them?
Slasher. It's important slasher cinema. And I almost said splasher again.
I heard that. Yeah.
Bitch. Yeah.
We have we've coined a new phrase here on Feed Invaders.
Good Lord.
It's a new genre.
But yeah. Scream.
I'm going to see it.
I have no reservations about like choosing this choice, this franchise, any of that. Scream, it fucks, guys. It fucks hard as fuck.
I agree.
And
it's got everybody in it.
And it's good. That's the thing about it. Like, this shit is good as fuck. Cool. And there just isn't anything that's come along, in my opinion, that's quite like this in the last like 20 plus years, that just goes this fucking hard.
It revitalized the horror genre.
Oh no, in the 90s.
It really it fanned the flames of the horror genre back in the day that did not involve somebody in a hockey mask or some supernatural shit.
Oh no,
magic.
I know I agree 100%. Like, this is a film that came out in the late 90s that completely revitalized horror as we know it right now. It just...
Well, I think everybody right now, currently in their house, probably has a ghost face mask somewhere.
Well, yeah, my son dressed up as Ghostface like 2 years ago. My daughter dressed up as a Ghostface this past Halloween.
Yeah.
My roommate went longboarding as Ghostface on Halloween, scaring the shit out of people.
I'm actually longboarding as Ghostface right now.
Cool.
As we speak.
Don't do it at the gym.
But no, it's just such a fucking... It's a vital franchise.
It's very important.
And
you love it?
Yes. I love it. 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 I'll never not love it. And yeah, it's just a hell of a fucking feat, in my opinion.
It's peak splasher cinema.
Yeah. I hate you.
And slasher. Slasher and slasher cinema. Thank you very much.
She's going to drink her vodka now. Whoever's next, go ahead.
Getting woozy over here.
Aw.
Me.
All right, Carly, what do you got? What is your numero uno?
Oh my goodness. So this was a really tough choice for me. Yeah, Chad knows. This was a very tough choice. And if anybody has been paying attention to Twitter and what I've been posting lately, they probably know what I'm going to pick as well. But it is the Rocky franchise.
Rocky. Oh, yes.
Rocky. So this franchise, it includes 5 original movies, the 6th movie, which was Rocky Balboa, and then of course the 3 Creed movies. So I mean, I'm sorry, I had not watched the series until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I always thought it was just, it's just some stupid sports movie or whatever. You know, it's not that at all. I mean, it is basically, it's basically the best feel good like series of movies ever made. It's a love story. I mean, if you're feeling bad or downtrodden, just put on fucking Rocky. You're going to feel great afterwards. I mean, this movie, it won 3 fucking Oscars, the original.
Yep.
It won Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Editing. So, I mean, it was really hard for me to choose one, but Rocky just really takes the cake for me because I honestly, the 5th one is probably everyone's, they may not like it as much, but it's still a good movie.
It's so good though.
They're so good. So I just had to pick it.
It's the sports movie version of Scream, where there's really not a miss.
Communism. He destroys communism.
Yes.
And solves the Cold War.
Exactly. The music, I mean, Bill Conti is excellent, and the arrangement is just beautiful throughout all of the movies. The music is top notch. I've
got Hearts on Fire on my playlist. Like watching that Rocky 4 montage with him training and everything. You don't get any better. Now, here's the thing. When I was a kid, I had a friend who was just a Rocky fanatic, Stallone fanatic. So I bought him the Rocky box set 1 through 5 on VHS tape.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Well, you know what we should do?" I'm like, "What?" He says, "Well, let's get some beers and some pizza and we'll watch them."
Fuck yeah!
I'm like, that sounds like a great day.
Yes.
So it was back for cell phones before you could actually turn them off. We unplugged the phones at my folks' place and we sat down and we watched Rocky 1 through 5 and just ate pizza and drank way too much. And this is before Rocky Balboa and stuff, so it ended at 5. And we sat there, and after watching it, we just sat there and we just talked about it for another 2 hours on like, you think he was going to win that one? Oh yeah, I think he was going to win that one. I mean, this launched careers of, like, believe it or not, this brought people into professional wrestling with Hulk Hogan because people wanted to see more of Thunder Lips, the Ultimate Male, after they saw this movie. And yeah, Rocky is huge up there, and I'm still kind of happy that Creed did what it did with the Rocky franchise, with Rocky Balboa character.
Yeah, me too.
I
mean, listen, part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is almost a perfect sequel, in my opinion. It's almost up there with Halloween 2, where it just essentially starts right after the first one. We pick up right as he's finishing the fight with Apollo. They go to the hospital, like Halloween 2. That starts at the hospital too. But basically, part 1 and part 2 could kind of be viewed as one long movie.
It's one long movie.
Oh. Yeah, it's the best sequel, in my opinion.
After we watched those consecutively, it was like they really need just to put this on one and just call it like whatever you want to call it. But it was so good. Oh yes, man, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch those again.
Just
I'm gonna call my buddy up again.
Yeah, really, every subsequent movie builds upon the next, because you have in the first one he fights Apollo. He doesn't win, but he goes the distance. The second one, he fights Apollo again. He actually wins. The third one
learns how to rebox, which is so good.
Yeah, the third one, he actually ends up getting together with Apollo to get his training because Mickey dies. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, after that, the fourth one, he's avenges Apollo's death. The fifth one, It's kind of the weakest of all of them, but
Street fight.
still,
Street fight.
still enjoy the street fight. But
Whiny kid.
there's really not a bad Rocky movie in my opinion.
Agree. Which is your favorite? What is your favorite Rocky movie?
Ooh, probably it's a close
To the crowd.
I mean, it's okay. The first and Rocky Balboa, the sixth. Those are my two
Really?
favorite. Yep, because I really feel like it really bookends with the first one. You have the
real boxing.
Yep, that too. And you have Marie come back from the first one.
Mhm.
You know, but I don't know.
And
Those
Spider.
are my two favorite ones.
Don't forget Spider. Washing dishes. I always love Spider washing dishes. That was one of my favorite scenes. Yeah.
But yeah,
For me, it was Rocky 3.
Is that your favorite?
Rocky 3 was always my favorite because
it's a good one.
Because he lost.
Well, he lost, but then he ends up winning at the end.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like seeing people lose,
right? And then come back. Yeah, everybody likes a good comeback story.
Well, Rocky is the ultimate underdog comeback story. So
exactly, and it's a love story too. I don't think anybody realizes that. I mean,
Adrian.
Like I said, yo, Adrian, I did it.
Right.
One of my favorite scenes in any movie is them when he takes her ice skating.
Oh my God. Listen,
you know the story on that one, right?
No.
So they had hired like hundreds of extras and then they didn't have enough money to do it.
Oh no.
So like they basically like showed up and because the checks didn't clear, they had no extras. So he literally wrote and improvised it on the spot of just, okay, I'll just work. I'll run the ciders, she'll skate, and like the whole thing was last minute change.
Oh, that's funny. You know, they also did that with his shorts in the first one too, because apparently they were supposed to be the red and white, but they made it the wrong color. I'm sorry, it was supposed to be red and white, but they made it. What was it supposed to be?
Black
red?
And gold?
No, it was white and red. Okay. But they made it red and white. And he had to change the script to reflect that. He had Rocky show up at the facility, you know, the night before and see that it's wrong and just wrote that little line saying, hey, they got my trunks wrong. So just that little bit. I mean, like, I would never have thought that Sly Stallone was a great writer, but I mean, Jesus, all of
a writer. He is so damn good. He's uncredited movies in where he didn't star that he has rewritten so many things. He could have actually retired as a screenwriter.
Right? It's amazing.
He would probably not have had to do so many sit-ups if he just wanted to be a screenwriter.
Right.
Do better, Sly.
Not as much baby oil.
That's it. Not knocking any of that either.
No.
I stay in baby oil. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, that was my choice.
Beautiful choice. Great choice. Mr. Coach, dazzle us.
So I'm going to cheat and I'm going to double cheat. And first I'm going to say my honorable mention was the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh, that was another one. I was thinking of that one.
Really?
I just don't like the third one.
And that's the tough thing.
It just didn't do it for me. I rewatched it too.
Yep. The connection, it's so good. The first one, it's pretty good. The second one, it's not good. The third one, but I still like the idea of a trilogy surrounding ice cream.
If you want to do that, you might as well pick Matrix.
Well, so I am picking the Muppets because
well done, sir.
It is where I got my humor from. It is where I got my challenge authority from. It's where I got the make fun of those in power from. It's the challenge everything, make fun of it all, and do it while smiling. It's the I just pulled up here when I saw the Jason Segel movie in the theaters with my father and my brother. My brother posted on his Facebook at the time, like, may I never become too old to enjoy the Muppets.
Great line.
And it's one of those, we need more Muppets in the world today.
100%.
So it's one of those, it's from every iteration back and forth. I've just been a huge fan of it. And whether it's the movies, whether it's the TV shows, or anything else.
Now, who's your favorite Muppet? Everybody. I'm asking everybody.
Me, it's Fozzie Bear.
Good choice. Carly, who is your favorite Muppet?
Oh God.
You don't have to necessarily identify with or anything like that, but it's always that one.
I guess the first one that comes to mind is Animal.
Everyone loves Animal. My God, Animal's the best. Chad, what about yourself? You are
you're muted.
Muted. You're muted, Chad. You were coughing like mad earlier.
Chad?
Okay, I'm
There
no
you go.
longer muted. And my favorite Muppet would have to be Animal Bitch because it's me as fuck. I don't know how to not be a problem,
Oh,
and I'm gonna remain a problem forever.
But a colorful,
yeah.
beautiful,
you
charming
don't think you're a
problem.
problem.
Not at all.
Until you leave your socks.
Okay, right. Oh, dog, my socks are on right now.
They're not. The socks do not come off.
Oh,
They
Socks do
stay
not come
on
off.
every time.
The socks might come off, but probably not. Yeah,
Your feet are
Well,
cold.
you know, not
Awesome.
if you gotta jet out there early.
Well,
My favorite
Brad-
Mupp is Dr. Teeth.
Ooh, which one
wait.
is that?
yeah, right.
He runs the Electric
He's the
Mayhem.
band leader.
He's the band leader.
Dr. Teeth.
Oh.
Okay,
He
hold
runs
on,
the
I gotta
Electric
look that
Mayhem.
up.
In the Dr. Teeth in the Mayhem, yeah.
Damn, bitch.
Well, Brad,
He
I
was
gotta
on
tell you,
every show.
that's an awesome topic.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
It actually told us a lot about ourselves, and it was really actually fun to sit down and actually think about what is my favorite. I am actually really happy that nobody picked the Marvel Universe or Star Wars or anything. Although
I'm so
I love
happy
all
we
those
all-
things,
Yeah.
I'm not dissing anything like that, but it was just those were almost too easy. So I really know that people actually sat and thought about it. So thank you guys for participating, and
Yes, of course.
thank everybody for listening. So
Yeah.
if you follow any or all of us on any kind of social media, shoot us your favorite franchise. Tell me why John Wick is stupid. Tell Dave why the Muppets are overrated. All you young people ask who's Rocky.
Aw.
And,
Okay, right. Fuck. I am dead,
Fuck is
bitch.
that?
and everybody look in their closet and realize, hey, young people, guess what? Ghostface comes from a movie. It's not just a Spirit Halloween thing. So
Facts.
yeah, everybody, thank you
honestly,
guys so much.
Young horror people, for real, listen to me right now.
Oh, dear.
Scream, it don't play, guys. It's serious. It's important. And yeah. Hell yeah. Okay.
So is Evil Dead. Evil Dead too.
Yeah. It's
It's
the
Pete
Evil
Nev
Dead
Campbell.
of like the post 2000s. Yeah. For sure.
Go see the musical.
Yes.
Oh, wait. What?
I've heard it's good.
It's really good. All right, this is us trying to end it. And if anybody has listened this long, they know we really no clue how to end these things. So
Oh, we
I'm
never
just-
know
Not at
how
all.
to-
I'm just gonna say, see you later, eh?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you later, eh?
Coach pissed off.
He's like, fuck
Dad,
it, I'm gone.
Dad,
He's like,
how much you been at the
Peace,
fucking
bitches.
drink?
wait, who, me or him?